As the snow melts, a familiar season is starting to show signs of return, and it's not just spring. Seasonal allergies are here again, and like always, are difficult to sniff out. Finding the difference between a cold and allergies can be hard, as the symptoms are almost identical. Local pharmacist Pratik Patel says there is a way to recognize if it's allergies.
That is the mucus. In a cold, you will see that it's the thick green yellowish color. But in a seasonal allergy, it is more watery type and it's a clear and it's very thin. So this is the way you can differentiate. And if you differentiate, you can find the suitable treatment for yourself.
Patel believes that people with allergies should look to a pharmacist for help first.
First, I do recommend that you should trust your healthcare professional, like a first line of the contact, the pharmacist. They could recommend some treatments, right? You should try that treatments. If that doesn't work, then you should contact your family physicians.
Patel recommends waiting 1 to 2 weeks to see if medication works before seeing a specialist. City Council has approved the purchase of new disinfection equipment that will be put to use at the Lloydminster Water Treatment Plant.
Plus UV will ensure that our water stays within tolerance for drinking.
4 ultraviolet disinfection reactors will help to satisfy requirements at the local water treatment plant. Due to spatial limitations within the facility's setup, Mayor Albers says it was important to find a solution without disrupting the current system.
Engineering firm found a device that will fit into the existing spool pieces, as it's referred to. So that was important. That's why we ended up with one sole supplier.
Trojan Technologies will supply the reactors at a cost of almost $450,000. The installation will help serve as a backup in the case that water clarifying equipment is out of service.
It's being, again, proactive. We're going to get the materials in place. Again, we all know about supply challenges, and then we'll move forward at a point where it fits the water treatment schedule team, as well as finding a contractor to install it.
The last time Lloydminster hosted a heavy oil show was in 2018. COVID restrictions forced the 2020 edition to be postponed. Now the event is set to make a return. Jace Mackey has more.
The Lloydminster Heavy Oil Show is returning to the Lloyd X for their 20th edition here in 2022. The opening ceremonies are going to be taking place on September 13th, with the event following on the 14th and 15th of September. And I'm joined by Gerald Albers in his capacity as the Director of Protocol for the Lloydminster Heavy Oil Show Committee. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Albers. First of all, can you just share your excitement about having this event back here in Lloydminster?
Well, I think it's very exciting for the community, the industry, the people involved in it, and the people that see it happen each and every day. So we attempted to have the oil show back in 2020 to follow the schedule every 2 years. That was COVID, as we know, put a kink in that, followed by we tried to move it to 2021, same issue. But what we're planning for is a full show in 2022 here back in the city of Lloydminster.
Well, looking at the theme for this year, it's focusing forward in 2022. Can you share with us what people can expect from this year's show?
Well, certainly we all know where we've been, and I think moving forward, today the price of oil continues to move up and down, but it's moved significantly up from the last 2 years, if not more. So we're seeing a lot of people, a lot of interest. We're seeing technology that continues to evolve in the industry day in and day out, and this is going to be an opportunity to showcase that at the oil show. We're hoping, we're working on a guest speakers list right now for the opening banquet on the Tuesday night, the opening ceremonies, which will be a little different from traditional. We're looking more at a fireside chat to discuss the industry, followed by a luncheon where people will be able to buy tickets. We're just waiting on confirmation from the two ministers of energy in Alberta and Saskatchewan to have a forum from their perspective. So looking at the industry from the industry's eyes, as well as the government, the eyes of government from that perspective that are much closer to legislation, as well as some other things on an international scale. So it's going to be an exciting time for our city.
So as you said, the Heavy Oil Show hasn't been here in Lloydminster since 2018, and that's a lot of time and a lot has changed in our world. Can you share a little bit about how the industry has changed over these past 5 years?
Well, certainly the industry has gone through one of the lower spots in most people's careers in the oil and gas industry. It hasn't been a pleasant 5, 6 years. Now, all of a sudden, you fast forward to $100 a barrel West Texas Intermediate, which pays very well to heavy crude Western Canadian Select here in Canada. We're now seeing a shortage of employees, a shortage of skilled labor, equipment. In some cases, it hasn't operated for some time. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle. We're hoping that we'll have people come forward and say, hey, I want to get back into work in the oil and gas industry. Those jobs are available today, but there'll certainly be a discussion piece in September at the oil show. From the perspective, we've got businesses starting to rehire as they staff up to service and supply the oil and gas producers in our area. We've seen change with the Husky Energy now becoming Cenovus. That's a huge change in our community. So, and many others and producers that we've seen new producers start to show up as people are investing money, as well intermediate producers getting back into the game with capital, as well as the large producers. So it's great on all fronts that way. The other challenging piece is, where are we going with the environment? And I think that our industry here, the players, the people that make it happen each and every day, take the environment very seriously. And this will be an opportunity to showcase that firsthand to the community, but to the country, as well as the world, because we hope to have some international guests as well attending the show. That gives that opportunity to demonstrate that we produce ethically, environmentally clean oil. People say oil's not clean. Well, we drive vehicles on asphalt every day. We make the world's best asphalt right here in Northminster. So that heavy oil that surrounds us, it adds to that, as well as the work the upgrader does and things like that. There's no question that we have the opportunity to showcase some of the things that make Northminster great.
Lloydminster is best known as Canada's border city, but we're also known as the heavy oil capital of Canada. So can you shed a little bit of light on the importance of having this industry event here in Lloydminster?
Well, it certainly showcases the ingenuity that's come out of Lloydminster, the adapting. Talking to some of the gentlemen that started back in the late 40s, early 50s, and the pictures and the struggles they had trying to get that heavy, thick, gooey oil to somewhere. And, when you find out that we had asphalt shingle plants in our city, we've had another refinery, those kind of things. Now we've moved to where we are. The technology the transfer in that short a period of time is absolutely incredible. We've had more inventions in this city than most people could even imagine around heavy oil production, from slant rigs to some of the work that some of the former companies have developed for moving sand, the flush by trucks. A lot of that work came out of this area, and that's terrific. And we need to tell that story. We need to tell that story, how we've been providing heavy oil and that ingredients, like I say, asphalt in particular, one of the primary bases, because we have a very high asphaltene level in our oil. So why that makes great asphalt? It sticks together and is produced. We need to tell that story over and over again. And it doesn't matter wherever we're at, but here's the opportunity to showcase it right here in Lloydminster and bring people together. And, it's nothing like bringing the old timers together to hear stories from them about how tough it was, because, we've made so many steps forward, but at the same token, we need to look back. But that's why we want to focus forward, is where are we going in the future?
Well, thank you, Gerald Albers, for taking some time to talk about this exciting event that's returning to the border city. And for those who are interested in registering a spot to come to the show, or maybe they're looking at booth opportunities or sponsorship opportunities, all that information can be found on the show's website at lhos.ca or calling the show office.
A mom and daughter from Swift Current are creating awareness of a number of medical issues through social media. Stacey Comer spoke with Kyla Thompson and her 8-year-old daughter Bella as she prepares for her 24th surgery.
Hello everyone, welcome to my makeup of the life day. Here we have all my makeup: blush brush, eyeshadow brush, lips, and this palette. Come show them what's inside.
Oh, I am so happy to be joined today from Swift Current, Saskatchewan by Kyla Thompson and Bella. Thank you guys for speaking with me today.
Of course, we're delighted.
Yes.
Well, I want to talk about so much that's amazing with you guys. starting with Bella, who has all of these fans and all of these almost 5 million people following you guys on social media. Kyla, tell me how this got started.
Yeah. So
Yes.
okay. So tell the story.
Tell
Okay.
me, tell me.
Okay. So I mean, I've been kind of on social media like Facebook and Instagram for a while, but things really took off with our TikTok channel in the beginning January of 2021. And so I started an account, really was just on TikTok for the joy of it. And I posted this one video of Bella drawing a drawing assignment for class, and it just went viral overnight to the point where like millions of views. It's at almost 40, no, 8, it's at 80 million views now. But it was a million overnight, and it was real simple, and I was just shocked by its popularity. And from there, our account just grew, and yes, and we even had that night that it went viral. We had Superstar Halsey message me on Instagram saying how in love with Bella and that she just was in awe of what she's been and her photos. And she sent Bella a care package.
Tons of makeup.
Tons of, yeah, and it just kind of our platform just yeah, she gave you a lot of gifts, so it was kind of just like, wow, this is happening.
Well, it's amazing, and I know you're creating awareness too. And Bella has been through a lot medically, so can you tell us a little bit about that, Kyla?
Yeah, so Bella is 8 now, and from birth she was born with 3 rare diseases, but we didn't know about all 3 of them for a couple years. And so essentially those 3 rare conditions turned into her needing, she's had 23 surgeries. She's been in hospital over 800 days. And now she's listed for a bowel transplant. And when she was 1, she had a bone marrow transplant because she was born with severe combined immune deficiency.
And
Skid, yeah. And so, and she has a bowel disease called Hirschsprung's. So she's been through a lot of surgeries for that. And so now, thankfully, her medical management is going smoothly while we wait for the call for a bowel transplant.
Now, you guys also sell merch, and this is awesome. The merch is great, and it's for all different sizes, and all, you know, people of all ages can get it. So tell me about the merch that's available, and do the proceeds go to help some medical causes as well?
So we started, my husband and I. Do you want to? Oh,
Mommy actually needs to say something about this art.
Oh,
okay.
Oh yes, okay, and then we'll get to the merch.
Okay.
So Bella, when I mentioned she had 23 surgeries so far, she does have a 24th surgery coming up to reconstruct her wrist.
To make this hand to this hand.
Yeah, she's had in utero. And you have to have a cast. Yes.
Oh no.
Right. Yeah. So thankfully this surgery is planned. So that's good. We've had a lot of unplanned.
Well, she does seem like she's taking all this in stride, though. Like, she does very well. She's the star of the social media, and you were talking about the merch. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so that's a real good tie-in to, you know, a big reason why we want to sell merch. I know my daughter has been brave through a lot, and she goes through so much with a smile on her face. I want to share that message with people who also struggle with a lot of things, whether it's medical or not, to just, here's how we be brave. I hope it helps you be brave through what you're going through. And we really started it because Bella's medical needs became so much that I couldn't continue working full time to manage all of her medical needs. And so my husband and I thought, you know, let's try and start a merch business for ourselves. And we created the logo. We have our own website that is Bella Brave.
Thank you guys so much for the chat. Can you let everybody know how they can find you on social media? What's the best way to find you?
Yes. So on our
I got this one.
okay. Do you remember?
Instagram at CKSA, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and
Facebook is Bella Brave.
Facebook is Bella Brave.
Perfect.
Everyone
Well,
heard you whisper in my ear, Bob.
well, thank you guys so much for speaking with me today. I really appreciate it.
You're
And good luck. Good luck with everything in the future. I know you still have lots to go through, but we really appreciate you chatting. And I wish you guys both the best with everything, with the social media, with the surgeries, and everything that you guys are going through. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's good to talk with you
Bye.
today.
Bye.
And now for a first look at tonight's forecast, we go to Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much, Jazz. And now taking a first look at your Friday weather here in the border city, we are sitting at 2 degrees. We did see some cloudier skies throughout the day, but that sun did start to peek out behind those clouds throughout the day, and we did start seeing them start to peek out of the clouds around like 4 p.m. here. So we are seeing a nice sunnier day, but it is slightly cooler compared to what we have been seeing early on in the week. So hopefully we'll see some better days for our weekend here. Now switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we are seeing those single-digit temps, so not too bad, but most spots are seeing around 2 degrees. Up in Cold Lake, they are sitting at that 0 mark, while it is 1 in St. Paul and up in Lac La Biche. 2 in Marwayne, while it is 3 in Vermilion. Edmonton is seeing one of the warmer areas at 5 degrees, as well as in Wainwright, and Provost is seeing 6. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are seeing those single-digit temps as well, but slightly cooler compared to the Alberta side, even some spots seeing those minus points. -1 in Meadow Lake and Green Lake, while Isla Cross is at -2. 2 degrees in Pearson, while St. Walburg and North Balfour are just hitting 1, 3 in Maidstone, and down in Macklin they are seeing the warmest at 6 degrees as well there. And now for North Battleford, from that 1 degree mark, they will be cooling down to -7, so not cooling down too badly for their evening low. They will be seeing a couple clouds in sight. Then tomorrow they will be seeing 3 degrees throughout the day, but some cloudier skies for their Saturday. Switching now to Cold Lake, they'll be cooling down to -4, so they won't be cooling down too much whatsoever from that 0 mark they're sitting at. Then tomorrow they'll be seeing a warmer day at 5 degrees with a mix of some sun and cloud. And for us in the border city, we'll be cooling down to -4, so we will be seeing a pretty nice evening low as well. And then tomorrow we will be seeing 4 degrees for our Saturday, and then we will be seeing some cloudier skies, but hopefully like today we'll see that sun start to peek out throughout the day. And now looking at your 3-day forecast for here in the border city. As I was saying, we're hoping to see a little bit more sun tomorrow for our Saturday, but on Sunday to end off that weekend, we will be seeing a little bit more sun there at 8 degrees, so we'll be ending off on a warm note, and then we'll even continue that into next week to start off on Monday at 9 degrees. That's the first look at your weather forecast. A lot more news coming up after the break.
The Lakeland Rustlers had an exceptional season this year, and to commemorate all of the achievements, they had their awards celebration last night. With more, here's Thomas Wildman.
Looking forward and not backwards.
For the first time since 2019, the Lakeland Rustlers were able to hold an in-person awards celebration. And like most years, there were many teams and individual achievements to celebrate. But this year, the completion of a season was also a momentous part of the celebration.
I thought that we'd get here at the start of the season. So first off, I would like all of you to give yourselves a round of applause for getting through this.
Many awards were handed out, including academic and team awards, and even some CCA awards to Janae Varga for being one of the All-Canadian athletes in women's volleyball, Tori Dugan for Women's Basketball Player of the Year, and Chris King for Women's Basketball Coach of the Year. Dugan also took home the honor of Lakeland Female Athlete of the Year and was given the honor to close out the celebration with a speech as she finished her final year as a Rustler.
So with that, get everyone to raise their glass. And sometime in the next few weeks before we all part ways, take a second to raise a glass to all those who have helped you get here, supported your right choices, held you accountable, made you even threatened to send you home. And to yourself for where you were when you arrived and to who you will be when you leave.
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
And now it's time to take a look at your pet pictures. Thank you to everyone who submitted their great pictures throughout the week this week, and we will be giving away a Pet Pad gift card at the end of the next hour.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
I'm joined here now by dog trainer Jesse Sternberg, and first I'll get you to go a bit into your background of how you started working with animals and dogs.
Unconventionally, totally unconventionally. 15 years ago, I was passionate about dogs and I was passionate about yoga. And I had this like weird mystical yoga moment where I had a deep peace, inner peace sensation. And it was life changing. It changed the course of my life because after that, I went, you know what? Why am I doing things I don't want to be doing? I'm going to open up a business that lets me be passionate about dogs during the daytime. And I quickly learned that, so I opened up a dog daycare, dog grooming business, and I wasn't a trainer yet officially, but I put dog training on the window so that we could get around zoning and we could, because a dog daycare isn't really a business according to like a government. It's a new thing. It was a new thing. And so now I'm in my passion business, and um, I am fast forward a few years. The business is pretty successful to the point where there's like 40 to 50 different dogs every single day coming in, and they're barking and they're jumping and they're lunging, and it's like a spring break gone bad situation on the daily, and I'm getting anxiety and panic, and I want to have safety. I want to have calmness. I want to have control over them, like a controlled chaos. Make a niche fusing together like mindfulness and canine communication. Uh, and so I wrote this book with the help of some awesome editors and book coaches. It was a marathon of a journey for me to go on, and very humbling experience to make the book interesting for people to read and relate to, and it not be about me or my techniques, but more be of value to everyday dog owner who's like, yeah, my dog is awesome, but sometimes he's too excited and sometimes he's too nervous.
What has been the feedback that you've been hearing so far from dog trainers and owners? Because some of these strategies can really go a long way.
Unbelievable from dog owners. There's enthusiasm and success stories. The book's already sold out of its first production run ahead of schedule, and it's got a mostly like a very close to a 5-star rating. And the comments are like, "Whoa, I can actually talk to my dog instead of guess what my dog is saying. Whoa, I can meet my dog at my level."
You kind of touched on things that are going to be into the book, but without giving too much away, what would you say is one of the biggest things that you tell owners?
Your dog's never not paying attention. It's never ever not paying attention because it only lives in the present moment. Your dog doesn't have past or future. So of course your dog's language has to take place in the present moment. And your dog's language is a set of simple body language actions. So it thinks you're always communicating to them, even if you're just on your phone or resting or working on the computer, because when your dog rests, they rest in a body language position that is a calming signal that's saying to the pack, the community, all right, guys, everything's cool now. Everything's calm.
And if anyone is looking to pick up the book or just read a little bit more about some of your techniques, where should they go?
Lots of information for both of those on my website, which is peacefulalpha.com. And the book is called Enlightened Dog Training, Become the Peaceful Alpha Your Dog Needs and Respects. It's available on Amazon and Indigo and all the major bookstores, and many small bookstores will just order it for you as well.
Thank you so much for your time today, Jesse.
This weekend is a busy weekend in our area, and tomorrow night you've got a couple of different options if you want to dance the night away. Tomorrow night, head for Neilburg at the Community Hall. Brody Siebert is going to be live. He's a little country, a little rock, a whole lot of fun, and a great opportunity to dance the night away. Plus, you support the Neilburg Community Hall. Tickets are $20, and there's going to be a midnight lunch and door prizes as well. The doors will open at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Also tomorrow night, the Militant Hall is hosting a Spring Fling Dance. So there's time for you to get a ticket, head out, and get your ticket at the door as well, and enjoy a really fun night of dancing. The doors for that one will open at 8 o'clock as well. Coming up this Sunday evening, the Lakeland College women's wrestlers basketball team is looking forward to welcoming former NHL player Clint Malarchuk to town. He's going to be at an event on Sunday evening talking about his journey with mental health. The Lakeland College women's wrestlers basketball team, they're doing more to give back to our community on Sunday as well. They're going to be running around the community, and they're being backed by a number of people who have pledged them, and those funds are going to go to a number of nonprofits in our community. For more details, lloydminstermentalhealth.ca, and there might still be a few tickets left for Sunday's night event. You can go to eventbrite.ca for more details. And coming up on Tuesday, Rib Week will be here. Now is the time for you to get a ticket for $25, and that will get you a delicious meal at Three Trees Tap and Kitchen. All proceeds going to the Connect Club of Lloydminster. To get all the details, just visit their Facebook page. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today for this week's entertainment panel is the classic Abby St. John. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Of course, anytime.
Now, starting off, we got some interesting topics. You know, the first one is definitely what a lot of people are talking about for all the Marvel and Disney fans out there. And then we got a pretty sad topic right after this. But to start off on a brighter note, Moon Knight, first episode was released on Disney Plus on Wednesday. And then we were all pumped to be able to watch this because for me personally, I don't really know much about that character Moon Knight itself, but I do hear that it's going to be interesting. And from watching it, I already love Oscar Isaac's performance. It's already got great ratings with the 94% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got Egyptian mythology and culture a lot involved in it. We got Ethan Hawke, some great action sequences already in the first ep, and Oscar Isaac is honestly hilarious from already watching it.
Yeah, I think the first episode was fantastic. I think they really started off very strong. You know, it already is diving into his sleep paralysis and, you know, him having to chain up his leg when he goes to sleep, tape up his door, chain it up, does everything that he can to, you know, make sure that he doesn't leave where he is. And yeah, the episode takes place. He wakes up in a different country. He has no idea what's going on. I'm not going to give too much away, obviously. You have to watch it, but it's definitely bloodier than what we're used to seeing in Marvel, especially. Definitely more psychological. I agree with you when you say Oscar Isaac is fantastic. I think he was a great choice for it. And Ethan Hawke was fantastic too. He plays this cult leader who follows this Egyptian deity Ammit. And it's so interesting. I've always been a fan of mythology, and so having, you know, something different, you know, we're used to, you know, I think Greek mythology is so popular, and, you know, everyone knows about, you know, Zeus and Athena, but no one really talks about Egyptian mythology, and I think that is really interesting, and I'm really glad that we're getting, you know, an entire series revolved around it. And I think this was a fantastic choice of something to bring into the Marvel universe, and I'm excited to see the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree definitely on the Greek mythology thing of how that's the most popular one that, that's involved in so many film and TV shows and whatnot. So now they kind of having Egyptian mythology involved in this was a lot more interesting and fascinating just to learn a little bit about it, and just having it more involved, showing that culture, I think is pretty important to see that on screen as well. And yeah, he honestly is just so good in his performance. So I think it is definitely going to be interesting for a lot of people that are going to check it out for the first time. I was a little bit shocked to see, like you said, how much a little bit more blood and stuff is involved in it, but I thought it was definitely a great spin for Marvel. Sometimes that's, sometimes it's good to show that, it gives a little bit more like intensity involved in it when you're watching it. But I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it when they do finally watch that first episode. I recommend it to even all non-Marvel fans out there if they want to, at least check it out. But now moving on to a topic that is very unfortunate, very sad right now. But this, this news also came out on Wednesday, had to do with Bruce Willis. And after 45 years of acting in his career, he's got aphasia, a diagnosis that has affected his struggles to make you verbally communicate. And he has finally quit and decided to tell his family and all the fans around the world. And I think everybody was a little bit sad to hear it, but it's good to see how strong that support is from other celebrities that they are showing out there, and an understanding of what's happening. So it's very sad news right now.
Yes, it is very sad. He's a legend in the acting world. Some of his movies weren't always the greatest, but he's definitely best known for Die Hard, The Sixth Sense, and of course Quentin Tarantino's classic cult classic Pulp Fiction. So he's had a great career, very long career, and it is very sad that we will no longer be seeing him on screen. His the diagnosis has now affected his cognitive abilities, so he has stepped back from acting. His daughters, plus his ex-wife, Demi Moore, took to Instagram to announce his retirement, saying to Bruce's amazing supporters, as a family, we wanted to share that our beloved Bruce has been experiencing some health issues, and as a result of this, and with so much consideration, Bruce is stepping away from the career that has meant so much to him. She went on in saying that they're very appreciative for all the support they've been given from fans and fellow actors as well. So I think it is a loss in Hollywood, but we still have his films from the past to look back on, to remember, his legacy and whatnot. And, he's still alive. So I think that's what the most important part of this whole is. But it is definitely sad that he is stepping away.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's a big loss for Hollywood, but it is understanding, and I think a lot of fans are just sad from this day, but it makes sense now for a lot of people that were wondering why he was doing some a little bit more low-key projects, in a lot of other films that he's been doing over the past few years. He's been doing a lot of more low-key projects, and people are wondering what was happening, but now it's starting to, the dots are starting to connect, and people are definitely understanding what he was up to all this time, and hopefully, he will get better, not get better, but kind of gets through it easier with his family and his loved ones, and hopefully he just has a great rest of his life after this career. But like you said, he's still alive, and hopefully we'll be able to still hear from him online and everything and whatnot. But it is understanding, and it was a sad day, but I think everybody wishes him the best. But unfortunately, that's all the time now we have for this week's entertainment panel. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Abby.
Of course, thank you.
Ending off, we'll take another quick look at your 7-day forecast. Here we will be seeing a warmer weekend with definitely seeing a lot of sunnier sky on Sunday. We'll see warm temperatures starting off next week on Monday at 9 degrees, seeing a high chance of some flurries, but hopefully with the warm temperatures that will melt down on Wednesday with 5 degrees, 10 degrees even next Thursday, and seeing 8 degrees next Friday with a little bit more sun.
Thank you, Shelby, and thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News, and you can join us again in the second hour.